Hello, hello, world. Happy last Monday of the year of 2025. Coming live to you from the studio of the real nitty gritty. You can subscribe and follow and like and share on YouTube, as well as TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. So, we have been wanting to make sure that you understood some things about femininity and masculinity, but I have to say this is first. We need to introduce us because I am Tiffany L. Love, and you are.
Abdul speaks.
And we have really good information about this. And I really was talking to you about making this about a three-part segment because this is really, really, really something that's going to be, I think, really embraced in today's world of social culture and movements when it comes to the talk about femininity, masculinity, and feminism.
Right.
All right. And so, what I kind of just, I always like to give you guys a little bit of definitions and a few statistics, but the feminist movement today is often considered the fourth wave. And it is a diverse, inclusive, and globally connected movement that is claimed to be focused on achieving full social, economic, and political equality for all genders. And a key feature is its emphasis on intersectionality and the use of social media for activism. So, my question to you is always, of course, with feminism and femininity, we've been hearing a lot about for years, right? About the feminist men are complaining about the feminist movement, and women are, stating their claim as to being in the soft life. What are your thoughts, overall thoughts, and general thoughts about this movement and from the men? What are the men saying?
At the end of the day, it's what the men are saying, and it's what a reality is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can't separate men from our reality. It's part of the.
I
If
agree.
if anything, you would say an ecosystem, right? So it's not something that affects men. I think it really affects women 2 to 3 times more than it affects men. And most of the time, unbeknownst to a lot of women, is when they hear men speaking out that it's really for the benefit of the women, right? And so you hate to see the people that you love and the people that you need and the people that you honor and cherish to walk off of a cliff, right?
Mm.
But, we have crafty individuals in our mix that are able to manipulate words, put them together in such a way that the most individuals are not going to be able to catch it, right? And I always say that I think every man would support a femininity movement, but there's a reason it's not called the femininity movement.
Mm.
See,
Yeah.
and so they take terms, phrases, and change definitions around, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to stick with the standard stock issue definitions. So um, the problem is that we don't have a problem with the suffrage movement, which happened in 1920, with women gaining the right to vote.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a problem with the women's rights movement that gave women more extensive rights. Now, ironically, at this time period, up 1963, right, minority, people who they claimed to be minorities, including black women, had none of those rights. And neither
Mm.
did the Latino men, neither did the Hawaiian men, neither did any man have any of those rights other than, at that time in the United States of America, white males, right?
Yeah. Even natives,
Yes.
Native
They
American,
got they got it late. So
they got it. They got it
so
after.
yeah, technically the law of 1870 gave black men, and it was really aimed at black men, the right to vote. But
Yes.
that was taken away by the states, right? So
Mm-hmm.
there was very few states with very few black men able to meet the conditions of their state to go vote. So technically, as a collective, we couldn't vote. So that was the big thing about the Civil Rights Act. One of the biggest pieces of legislature in the Civil Rights Act was the right for the federal government to intercede with the states' rights to vote,
Awesome.
right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to the women's suffrage movement, and then when it comes to women's rights legislation, black men, Latino men, and all men of color
Mm-hmm.
got those rights after the women's rights legislation of 1963, which would be 1965.
Okay.
So when it comes to making a claim of subjugation and not having any rights, there is absolutely no person of color that can claim that their man had rights that they didn't have, right?
Mm.
Because clearly white women were treated all the way up until 1965 better than black men.
Yeah.
Clearly they had way more rights, right?
Yeah.
Clearly they had way more chances at fair trials and fair justice than arguably do today. Well, factually do today, right?
Right.
So that isn't the issue. So we don't dispute women's need to have equal rights and equal treatment. That's the big picture that I'm trying to draw. Men don't dispute that when they're talking about feminism and what they don't like about it. What we dispute is the culture. The culture. And the culture is the one that is being used to spread propaganda and information and put doubt in women, and has put doubt in women and made them feel insecure about their role in society.
Okay.
Someone made a claim that the women were predominantly unhappy in their roles while their men were out slaving, building skyscrapers and 300 feet in the air and working from sun up to sundown to provide them a living. And they were subjugated by having to take care of their own children and keep their own house clean. Someone made the claim.
Betty Friedman.
Betty Friedman
Yes,
made that claim.
she started the feminine mystique movement, and that
See,
was around.
The
and that
word
was in her book.
mystique is very clever.
And that
It's a
was her
mystique.
first groundbreaking book, actually in 1963. So yeah,
Yes. And so she tried to speak in behalf of every woman, and she clearly doesn't have any statistics to prove and back up that anywhere near the majority of the women would somehow trade places, leave the comfort of their home, go from a one-income society to a two-income society, put their children in daycare, and guess what? When you get back home, somebody still has to do the dishes. Somebody still has to clean the house, right? Unless you just have a filthy home, right? So I don't know any practical, sane woman to this day, right? There's a few people who have outstanding careers and love their job. I'm not going to knock that. I think we had career women in the 40s and 30s. We did. We had women that were rich in the 30s. We had black women that were filthy rich in the 20s and 30s. So I don't think it's such a thing as so much as the rights, as I say, as it is the culture, and to change the culture and to talk women out of their own blessings, their God-given blessings, is that when you use your femininity right, a man will go out there and do all the heavy lifting for you, and you get to cool your heels at home. Yeah, you still got to work, but we're gonna provide for you based on that feminine and masculine flow as much ease and comfort as we possibly can. That wasn't a harsh treatment that a man was putting on his woman. That was a man putting his woman on a pedestal. That was him saying, if there's anybody that's going to do the heavy lifting here, it's going to be me. That's what I'm designed for. So with that being said, the question to ask is the feminist movement talking women out of their femininity? And so, yeah, that would be my question.
Okay. So, in essence of, and this is an article that I have pulled up, it says, in essence of today's feminist movement uses a broad, interconnected approach to challenge systemic inequality and create a more just and equitable society for everyone, recognizing that the fight is far over as a country has yet achieved full gender equality. However, femininity, a woman who is in her feminine power, that has really great quality. It refers to the qualities, behaviors, and roles associated with women, such as gentleness, empathy, grace, class, um, dignity, integrity. I could keep going on and on with this, right? But it's a social construct varying across cultures and individuals. And so that means that femininity is different with different cultures.
Yeah, that's the new revised definition. They're trying to break up and use duplicity
So,
to break up gender, and this is all part of the newfangled thing where you have these unlimited letters and different representations of human beings.
mm-hmm.
And but realistically, the term femininity and feminine
Yes.
is really simple, and it has been simple for thousands of years. And I would like to read to you because I always keep a unabridged dictionary. There's
Right.
two things that I always keep.
Yeah.
I keep an old Bible
Mm-hmm.
and I keep an old dictionary
All
so
right.
that I don't get dismayed by the internet and things where they're trying to change and manipulate words and cast spells on people.
Which is another subject we're going to bring
Right.
about.
So uh, when it comes to the definition out of Random House Webster's unabridged dictionary, copyrighted 2001 and multiple years all the way back to 83. Feminine, under the first definition,
Mm-hmm.
says female, a person bearing two X chromosomes,
Yes.
right? Pertaining to a woman or girl. That's feminine. That's
Mm-hmm.
not across, that doesn't switch up from Mozambique to Spain to
Yes.
USA,
You're right.
right? You
Right.
can't shake that off by traveling,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's pretty dead set. It's pretty mathematical, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they want to try to make it this word. She used the word. You get the devil's in the details,
Yeah.
and I mean the devil's in there.
Oh,
She
yeah.
used the word mystique,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's using clever wordings to show where she really is. This is the mystique. So she created a mystique
Mm-hmm.
behind what women want. And she created a mystique about women being under some type of unfair and unhumane treatment. And by the way, I would argue that even when the laws were not the way they should have been and the way that we would like to have been for women, overall, men were not oppressing women. That's a mystique that was put out there. They want to show you the two or three people who were unjustly taken advantage of in the neighborhood, and they don't want to show you the 900 other people that was bestowed all types of benevolence from their men based on their exchange of feminine energy.
Yeah, and so it she did kind of give a quote in there about the problem that has no name, which keep
Mystique.
yes,
There you
yes.
go. You can mystique anything.
She goes further to describe the vague, pervasive unhappiness felt by many middle class women who had everything in society, and they should want um, and said that they should want the husband, the home, and children, but they felt empty and unfulfilled. So the mystique was, the open end of it all, as well as like, what exactly she wanted to do, if she wanted to be a homemaker, if she wanted to be in the corporate world, or if she wanted to do some other things, um, even down to some just other things that we don't even, we see in the porn industries and stuff like that.
Sure.
Yeah. So um it was a very open-ended type of um gesture, I should say, that she was kind of, wanting to have that
Yeah.
And
Well,
and it was critiquing,
yeah.
domesticity.
Yes.
And so she was just kind of like, hey, this, we don't have to be domesticated, and we're not objects, and we are women. And but in the same sense, does that really truly equate to femininity?
Well, the first of all, let's go back to the word mystique. Mystique means mysterious. Mysterious means unknown,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, how can one preach that which they do not know?
Mm.
If I preach that which I don't know, then I could be charged with lying,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, the
Mm-hmm.
fact that she acknowledged it was a mystique makes it imaginary and unreal out the gate. So, she's let herself off the hook from even being honest right off the gate,
Yeah.
right? And so when you talk about words like vague and mystique, and then you put that on all women, which
Mm-hmm.
she's never provided any evidence of any type of polling or statistical evidence that the women of that time were unhappy. We do, however, have polling and statistical evidence that the women of this time are very unhappy,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't blame the rights that you have as making you unhappy. I blame the cultural expression and someone talking you out of God's gift to you, which was your womanhood. Femininity, womanhood. If you're not feminine, you're not being a woman. If you're not being a woman, you're not being yourself. How do I know that?
Mm.
It's not based on mystique, and it's not based on any type of thing that is what you called vague. It's based on natural laws and natural science and mathematics. If
Yeah.
you have two
Yeah.
X chromosomes, you are a woman. Therefore, if you act anything other than feminine,
Mm-hmm.
then you are acting other than yourself.
Absolutely. So that is a good. Thank you for bringing that definition to terms and to bringing it to light. Um, and I believe that women know that there's power in femininity, and but the feministic and the feminism is taking a control, and is abject to femininity in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And so, what do men see? I know a man prefers femininity. And, so here's the question, I should say. What do you say to women who need a man to keep her in her feminine and out of her masculine energy?
Yeah. Well, women have to adopt a now because it's got so pervasive, especially in the United States of America. They
Right.
have to actually adopt practicing. They have
Mm,
to actually go back and practice being a woman, right? A
okay.
girl, a woman, right?
Yeah,
Hopefully,
wow.
you could get your girls to practice. So for us men, we never had an issue because there was never any mystique around manhood, right?
Right.
We never had any mystique, right? And so we practice masculinity as boys. We were practicing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so full blown masculinity looks like manhood,
Okay.
right? So the idealistic hierarchy of masculinity, the ultimate goal of masculinity, if you want to see masculinity to the 1000th power, then we refer to him as God,
Mm,
right? And so everything that the Father does and everything that God does is in line with what we deem as ultimate masculinity. Now, let's be careful
mm-hmm.
because what a boy does is not considered to be fully developed masculinity. He's training to be masculine, right?
Right.
And so when it comes to keeping a woman out of her masculine energy, we don't have to do anything to keep her out of her masculinity because that too is a lie that's been spread around.
All right.
There's never been a woman in the history of the world, and I stand on this, who has spent 1 second of her life being masculine. It's mathematically impossible. It's a lie. She can't do it. Now, what she can do is act other than herself. And
Got it.
so, acting like something and being something is two different things. If I walk around and go, oh, girl, oh, child, sis. Does that make me feminine? No,
Not at all.
absolutely not. Because in order to be feminine, according to the original dictionary definition of it, I have to have 2 X chromosomes and I have to be a woman.
Got
And
it.
by the way, women don't even act like this. This is me doing a mock-up, hey, you're not acting like that.
No, not at
Ooh,
all.
child, ooh. So you're not acting like that.
No, not at all.
And
But
when
do
I,
men see us that way?
100%. And so it's all an act because the dweebiest, softest guy is more manly than you'll ever be 1 second of your life. So you're putting yourself into a predicament and a situation that, first of all, you don't even know the rules to it. Those dweeby guys have a way that they approach me.
Mm-hmm.
The strong guys have a way that they approach me.
Mm-hmm.
You can't approach me making statements when you're a dweeb. You approach me with a question.
Mm-hmm.
It's natural for us to respond that way. But now you're trying to get your point across, abandoning what God gave you, what your parents gave you, what your grandparents and great-grandparents gave you.
Okay.
You're going to abandon that to be something that you can't be the worst at on your best day.
Okay, so hold this thought. Let me go back. Let's look at this a little bit. So there is a pecking order. Am I gathering that correct?
Sure. It's
Okay.
natural. We do it it's subconscious.
Okay.
Certain people go into the room and people gravitate to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And certain type of people gravitate to them. Period. And it's as simple as that. And you could take that same person, me, and take him and move him to another city and analyze it, come back in 3 days, and he's got the same exact effect.
So let me ask you this question. So there's a particular, so feminine women attract masculine men, but she also attract a man that is not as masculine as we would like him to be.
All men is attracted to femininity, unless they're gay. So all men are attracted to.
I think that gay men idolize and admire and adores femininity.
Yeah,
so
they
to
try-
me, they're trying to, like you said, act.
They're trying to act. They're trying to get.
And so that's an adoration.
That could be an adoration. They say imitation is the best form of flattery.
Yeah, it
right.
is.
So as an artist, we had to learn that. We tried to not get so upset because somebody was copying our art. And you say, man, imitation is the best form of flattery, right? So obviously they're flattered by you, but they can never be you. They're never going to
Absolutely
spend
right.
1 second of their life being a woman, right? They don't have the ability to have the complex reality that makes you you. They're just mimicking and acting at best. Now, there are some that are poor actors. There's some that are decent actors. But if you analyze it for any enough time, you know it's an act. And so I hear women all of the time acting like a man.
Yeah.
And they call that masculine energy. No, it's not masculine energy. It's bad acting. That's what it is. It's bad acting.
Right.
And it's like I tell people, here's the thing. If I see a woman walk around, and she walking around, she got the hair cut and the spikes in her chin, spikes coming off of her and stuff like that there, right? And I sit down, cross my legs, and wave at people. How y'all doing tonight? Hey, how the children doing? Give all the kids a piece of gum. I'm still the macho man. I'm still the macho man.
Because of the pecking order.
It's because...
And it's because you have a different energy. You actually have a real masculine.
I am a man. I don't have to act like a man. See, because you're taking certain cues that you thought usually something with violence or aggression and equating that with manhood.
And it's not.
And I spend almost none of my life being violent or aggressive.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
Does that make sense? I spend almost none of my life doing that. And guys aren't coming to me because I'm violent and aggressive. Does that make sense? Sometimes the top dog in the room is quiet, soft-spoken, short, without a lot of muscles.
Come on
And we
now.
all walk up to him and you're like, why are they doing that? Because he's the man. He didn't have a patch on his lapel.
Uh-huh.
He wasn't paying us, but based on his character,
Mm-hmm.
the stories he tells, the
Yeah.
way he treats people,
Right.
all of that is masculine energy. And somebody lied to the public and told them that it was
Macho.
you can't say masculine and monkey at the same time because if you said masculine and monkey,
Not the monkey.
yeah, if you say masculine and monkey at the same time, there's female monkeys.
Man, tell me the truth.
So are the female monkeys not masculine? Are they feminine?
Right, right,
That's
right.
not masculinity.
Right. Well, so here's the thing masculine energy is from where I'm gathering from you is about protecting and providing and leading and nobility
Yes.
and in his comfortable and confident.
The most masculine one is the one that everybody wants to be,
Mm-hmm.
idolizes, and you get that way primarily through treating people right, giving them something that makes a difference in their life.
Mm.
And the most abundant material that can be passed around and you not lose all your wealth is knowledge and wisdom. So the one that disseminates and puts something in the hearts and minds of people is usually going to be reverenced amongst men. If he stands on the principles and he teaches the principles, men stand on principles and teach the law. And the most manly men, not the boys,
Okay.
right?
Right. Because there's a big
The
difference.
boy is in practice to be a man.
And
the boy is practicing masculinity.
Can you make it, give me a statement on when the boy has not fully trained? What kind of man is that?
Oh, he doesn't have regard for others. He's not mature. He's still stuck in the boy stage. In many regards, he's like I was when I was 5. I wasn't as concerned with other people as I was myself. I wasn't concerned with the outcome of my actions and what they ultimately meant. I had to learn the ripple effect of my actions.
Right.
I was out for me. I was out for my milk and cookies. Right? And as you grow up and realize, it's not that you didn't have a heart, it's that you realize that the consequences of your actions, the ripple effect. And then you begin to understand the importance of the discipline that your parents was giving you. And you realize at a certain age, I wish they had given me more.
Yeah.
When I was a boy, I wanted less. But when I got to be a man and I started trying to actually make myself successful and project myself in the world, I realized that the biggest thing that I was missing that I could have had more of was discipline and focus. And discipline and focus is all about how you can follow the rules and laws, whether the ones that somebody else set forth for you or the ones that you set forth for yourself. And at the end of the day, it's that machismo that makes you stay in line and chase progress like that.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I like that. And it really can also kind of relate into femininity as a woman, young lady who's becoming a woman. If she has that discipline and that confidence in herself and she utilizes her resources of women who are women.
Yes.
Women who
100%.
who are cognizant of their community and what they put out there
100%.
and how they receive it.
100%. So now we go back full circle.
Right.
So now we go back where I told you that you can't have any masculine energy. Your woman can't be masculine, can't be a man for 1 second, and a man can't be a woman for 1 second.
Because it only can last so long. That superpower
Yeah.
is only lasting for so long.
And it is
when
a
you
superpower.
actually stitch into the fabric good femininity, you actually come out with a beautiful quilt, of love, of instilling good and things of that sort. So you will know a true feminine woman. She doesn't get jealous, she's uplifting to others. And she could be, like, hey, today I'm just not feeling it. She still has that energy, but she's still in her right moralistic, uh, civil, social ethics.
Right.
She's still able to come home from being in the corporate office, you know, amongst the men. She's the only female. I got to give it to people like Michelle Obama. Um, Shout out to, women who are in the background. Yes, I said background. But yet at the same time still pursuing through femininity and still able to raise their children, run corporate offices, and come home and treat herself and her man like the kingdom. He's the kingdom, and still, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying, still be able to
yeah,
do these
because
things.
at the end of the day, femininity has. When we say femininity, we're not asking or saying uh, something that you can't do, other than be a man,
No, that's
right?
right.
Is
Well,
it
I don't want to be a
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
really. I
yeah. So
don't.
that's the only thing you can't do. So drop the man act. The manning up don't work for you.
Right.
You need to girl up.
Woman
Don't
up.
woman up. Don't
Woman up.
lady up. Don't man up. Don't man
Yes.
up.
Cover up.
Yeah, exactly. That's another segment.
That's a whole nother segment.
But at the end of the day, we're not saying we're telling you is men have a superpower.
Mm-hmm.
We call that in general is energetic that we call masculinity, and women most definitely. I don't know why you would want to trade your superpower for mine. I really
Come on
don't.
now.
Because there's so many perks for being feminine that I'm never going to get them. There's nothing I can do to receive them.
No, not at all.
And they're abundant. And guess what? They've had these perks all throughout history. Don't let them fool you.
Of
Right?
course.
Don't let them fool you. They've had it, and I'm not saying that certain people who were oppressive by nature didn't also be oppressive to their women. That's the nature of it. Bad guys do bad things to the people around them. Period. You can't be evil and maniacal to one group and be all the way right with another. Like if you're evil and maniacal, it's just who you are. Right? So this country had to go through, at the end of the day, let's tell the truth. The history of this country is Europe let out their dissidents to this country.
Yeah.
So all of the serial killers, and they literally turned the prisons loose, right?
Yeah.
They gave people pardons
Yeah.
for coming out here and establishing this world. So we got the worst of the worst of the worst,
Right.
right? And so you don't expect guys like that to treat their woman properly, right? But I just want you to know that we're not talking about any race thing right here. We're just talking about history of America and feminism and how it really doesn't apply to everybody. And and if there was something that was done that was unseemingly towards women, men in general are not to blame. Don't put that on men. Men have never in history done anything negative to women. Listen to how I said it. Listen to how I said it.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Men, that's inclusive, that's a global inclusion. So now you got to take the 4 billion men and collectively, as a collective at any given time, say that men have never done anything against women collectively. That doesn't mean that this group or this nation or this person hasn't done it.
Okay.
And so we get trapped inside of the bubbles.
Collectively. That is the key word.
We get trapped inside of bubbles, and we think our world is the world, when in fact our world is just the world. And in the case of this lady who started feminism, her world was a world of mystique. So she sold most of us on an imaginary world that didn't even exist. Mystique can or cannot be real, right? It could be it's a mystery. If it's a
There's a
mystery, then
mystery
it's
to that.
unknown. And if it's
And it's
unknown,
open-ended.
and
Yeah.
as she said, the what is the word time a clever term, the word that wasn't spoken, it is, why can't you grab it? Why can't you identify it?
Because it's
Because
a problem. She said that it was unspoken. It was an
unspoken problem. They don't have a word for it. We can't even describe it. But at the end of the day, by the time she came around, women already had full rights. So if they were so unhappy, they had full rights to get up and do whatever it is that they wanted to do.
Okay.
Right? And
Yeah.
we have a history of women who didn't have full rights who still got up and did what they needed to do. Plenty of them. So there was plenty of women working, plenty of women doing things, plenty of women millionaires back in those days.
But there was some legal ramifications that men had that women didn't have.
I agree.
Such as voting, being able to sign contracts, being able to open up bank accounts, take out loans, stuff like that.
I agree. But now most of anything that they didn't receive, they received it under the Civil Rights Act of 1965. Now, at the time of the Civil Rights Act of 1965, if you go back to 1964 and 63, then if you go to 66 and 67 and 69 and 70 and 71, I know for a fact that black men didn't have those rights. Right? So women can't look at the world and base it on a mystique world.
Right.
The real world of their world was based on a mystique world. No black woman was denied categorically any rights by any black group of black men, period.
Okay.
No Mexican women were categorically denied any rights by any Mexican women. So now when you look at the globe and you look at the United States of America and you look at the time lapse of when you claim to not have these rights, right? But then even under not having those rights, look at the benevolence of men and how they were protected and elevated and done all types of things for their women, right?
Okay, so what do you say about the federal government being involved into women's reproductive rights?
Well,
because that's a collective.
To me, that's a different subject because they call it reproductive rights. I could call it something else. Some people call it murder, right? And I know for one, I don't have the right to murder anybody, not even my own child. I don't have the right. As a man, I don't have that right. If I get a woman pregnant and I say, I don't want that baby, and she say, I do, guess what? She get to keep it. So her rights is extended beyond mine. Then I have to pay for 18 years for a baby that I already told her I don't want. So based on when it comes to rights and equal rights, clearly her rights supersede mine, right? So there's lots of rights that men don't have that we don't complain about, right? Like a lot of men felt like they was under a suffrage movement, believe it or not, and there was a unspoken word, right? They don't talk about the unspoken word of men, right? When they had to go out and work on them hot steel mills and climb up on them skyscrapers every day to pay for their families while the mothers got the opportunity to stay in the air conditioning with the kids.
Okay.
So you don't think that there was a huge unspoken unhappiness amongst men? Is that fair? Right? And so
we want to hear this. I mean, this is something that we definitely.
Well, men to this day ain't gonna talk about it because we accept our role as a man. We don't go out and work out in that hot sun every day because it makes us happy. We go out and work in that hot sun every day because that's what we got to do as men, and we accept our role as men. We don't run from it. But if I wanted to talk about what makes me happy, look, you talking to a man that raised 8 children. I had 4 with sole custody and 4 every other weekend. And I'm here to tell you, it would have been much easier to just raise my children than to go out and start the business and work in that hot sun that I was working in. The easier part of my day was coming home.
in Arizona.
The easier. And I'm not knocking on women. I know it's work because I've done it. My daughter's first steps was in my hands. I did it from the cradle to adulthood, right? And I didn't have one. I didn't have 2.
Right.
I had 4 and 4 more coming on the weekend and on Wednesdays, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I had to pay for the other 4. So I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just telling you, when it comes to the actual work that I did during the time that I was doing that, if I had to pick which one to do and which one was going to be make me happy, it would have been sitting at home, right? So people want to take this mystique and not tell the truth and shame the devil, right? To
Right.
this day, if I said, and I put out 2 ads in the paper, hey, this is Brother Abdul, I'm single, I'm looking for a lovely lady, here's my bio, here's my pic, right? One of the ads says, hey, I make so-and-so dollars and I'm looking for a woman. I make $150,000 a year and I'm looking for a partner that makes $150,000 a year to help me with these bills and so that she can be liberated and go out and work overtime just like I do when I need to work overtime to help me pay these bills. And then I run another Sandwiches ad and say, hey, this is Abdul. Look at me. I'm nice looking. I go out and work out and like long walks in the park. I make $150,000 a year. I'm looking for a nice young lady to sit at home in the air conditioning, keep my house clean, and keep a couple hot meals going. Which one do you think gonna get the most people lined up at the door?
Let's let them vote on that. Audience, which one? Especially my ladies, which one? Which ad would you pick?
Now, I'm gonna tell you which one would make me happiest. I'm gonna tell you which one would make me happiest. Right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's
So which ad? Now go over the three ones. Do you remember what you said?
Oh, there's 2 ads. It's one ad where the lady is going to see my bio, know that I make $150,000 a year.
Uh-huh.
And the caveat is I'm looking for another lady to make $150,000 a year to go in half on me with everything.
Uh-huh. And then there was the third.
The second ad, excuse me,
Oh, I'm sorry.
was wonderful bio. I make $150,000 a year. I'm looking for a lady to come in and all she got to do is cook me a couple meals and keep the house clean. Which one do you think is going to get a long line at my door?
Okay.
Right? And now,
Go vote.
yeah, go vote. Now, I'm going to tell you which one of the 2 would make me the most happy as a man. The lady that's going to come in and help me with that $150K.
You would like a woman to help. Wait. The first one or the second one?
Every man would rather you pay than you sit at home and play if they had the opportunity and the choice. What women
No,
don't
I can't say that. You can't say every
what
man.
women don't understand, what they don't understand is that men do things out of duty and benevolence. And your femininity has the ability to get a man to do his duty and be benevolent to you. And just because we did it doesn't mean that that's because it made us happy. We out here trying to make you happy.
Okay, so you're saying most men would like to have a woman to split the bills with him.
Unless he's got so much money that your money don't matter. But if I make your money equal to his, I guarantee he gonna take me up on the offer. If I make your money equal to his, I guarantee he gonna take me up on the offer. Now, if your money don't matter, if he got $400,000 a year and you making 30, hell no, you better not go out there talking about your damn career. You taking up my time. But if I'm making $430,000 a year and you making $430,000 a year, you better go get that money. Because together we got damn near $1 million a year.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
So, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so then most women would say that if she is not fully in her femininity, and that's not most, that's some women. Let me rephrase that, ladies. Some women would say that she is not in her femininity if she is splitting the bills and not utilizing her income to help the family grow and flourish, like buying things or making the house a home or investing in trusts and lands and titles and LLCs and things of that sort. Now, I know men that would be like, your money is your money, but I take care of this. What do you say to those men? Those men, there are a lot of men who, and it's they're like, I take care of that, and I provide that,
Yeah.
and
Like I
that
say,
is
that's
my
called
obligation.
benevolence.
Okay.
That he feels it's his duty because he's been brainwashed, and it's his benevolence, right? He's under no obligation to do any of that. You are the benefactor of his benevolence, right? Now, there's no way that he personally is actually happier day by day splitting his $200,000 when he could be sharing with you with $400,000. And the whole concept about your femininity is just a load of crock, because you're just as feminine when you working as a carpenter as you are when you baking cookies. Just like I'm just as masculine when I'm working as a carpenter as I am when I'm baking cookies. I don't bake cookies like this, right? See,
I understand what you're saying.
you ain't got to do this to bake cookies. So femininity ain't about being lazy. You can burn calories and be feminine.
Mm-hmm.
You can do math and be feminine.
Now, what do you say about the women who have created the foundation for that man to become more successful? And he's out there getting the bacon and she's at home in a more, heavily more domesticated, but she also has her own income. But what she does is to help his success flourish and grow. And I'm talking about in marriage or as a wife, because girlfriends, y'all don't be going out here doing that as a wife. Okay.
So the difference between me and most people that's going to get up here and speak, right, is I don't care. I'm going to tell the truth.
You don't care about doubling your income and making extra money and living the life that you want?
No, I'm saying I don't care about what people think and feel. I'm not here to sugarcoat your feelings, right?
Okay.
I'm not here to sugarcoat anybody's feelings. I'm not here to get anybody to like me. So I'm able to speak freely.
Speak freely.
Right?
Yeah,
so
that's what this is all about.
When it comes to what a man is going to do and what a man is not going to do, right? There's two sides of it. One is whatever he feels his duty is. The other side of it is his own benevolence. He's giving.
Mm-hmm.
He's sharing.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a giver, you're not giving to make yourself happy. You're giving to make the other person happy.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, being that giver, being that benevolent person, you oftentimes neglect your own happiness.
Well, most givers feel good when they give.
Yeah, they feel good.
Cheerful.
Of course, they
giver.
feel good when they're giving, but they feel good because of what they're doing. They're not feeling good because of what you did for them. And when I'm going back to this point that you made about women being the foundation for men, that's a myth. That's rare.
No, we're talking about his business, helping him get his.
I'm just saying that's an anomaly of women.
There are women.
Yeah, it happens. It's an anomaly. Okay? The overwhelming majority of us men become men from our parents, mother and father, and our peers, which are predominantly men.
Mm-hmm.
And the overwhelming majority of us that are successful, who marry a woman, are already successful when she meets us. Right? And so now the anomaly of a woman is woman that got her one of them project build-up kits. Right? And she's his foundation. Without her, he'd be lost and all of this other stuff.
No, we didn't say that.
Nah. Most of these guys that's running around here successful, I could take them, ball them up, throw them in the desert with no clothes on, and I come back in 3 years, they'd be successful again.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they ain't not gonna blame. It ain't because of a woman. It's because that's who he is and that's what he's wired to be, right? So at the end of the day, we can't sugarcoat this thing that women get a chance to receive, which is a man's benevolence. And what we're talking about is still feminism. We're still talking about feminism and how it contrasts to femininity, and how the whole mystique and the whole thing was to not shine a light over the fact that good men are benevolent towards women. They want to see you happy.
Okay. So there's a lot of meat on this bone. There's a lot of meat on this bone. Hold on just a second, because we were talking about femininity,
Yes.
masculinity,
Yes.
and feminism,
Yes.
the movement,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And then we went into the definitions, with the unabridged definition to the modern day definition.
Right.
And then we talked about men, looking for, and we put out a poll. We're putting out a poll, for you all to vote on what type of woman or type of man would attract more women at his door.
Yeah. See, here's the thing.
Right.
If I was making $150,000 a year, realistically, right,
Mhm.
and my woman was making $150,000 a year,
Uh-huh.
right, I wouldn't ask her to stop working. But now, on the flip side, that sounds harsh. But then the women are the same ones with the feministic attitude that says, "Oh, we ain't no housewives. We ain't this, and the other." But the proof of the pudding is when I put it to the test, women cringe when I say, "I would rather you bring home the bacon than fry it up in the pan," because that's the easy part. Now, here's the point that I'm trying to make. Men like image and likeness of God. God bless a person with something. It's not so that he could become happy. It's so that you could become happy.
But also God said it's not fit for man to be alone.
Oh, I agree. We agree with that. But now here's the difference. Here's the equation. As a woman at home with the man, you have to ask yourself, are you guys starting a family? Now, if you're starting a family, who gonna watch the kids? Do I really trust these daycares and all of these places
Or nannies.
And so you have to weigh that out.
Mm-hmm.
You have to weigh that out. There are some women who honestly, it doesn't behoove them to stay at home and make cookies. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't. Because why would you ask her to do that? I wouldn't ask her to do that. And if she wanted to do that, I would highly discourage it. And there's other women I could be in the same guy with the same income. I would highly discourage the other. Because now you're taking away from me. Now you're cheating me now. There's no need.
If he's willing to give, and he's a cheerful giver, and men are built to give and women are built to receive.
Yeah, but it's not that clear cut. Like we want to just give and not receive.
You're getting something out of it. You're going to get the version of what Dr. What was his name? Dr. I can't think of his name. And him and his wife passed away on their jet. Miles Monroe.
Yeah.
He says, what you give a woman, she will multiply it for you.
That's called idealism. To what is feminism? Feminism is an idea that was borrowed off of rightful problems that women exclusively and particularly in America had in not having equal rights, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what inside of that problem Later, after the problem became, for the most part, primarily solved, is when you came into feminism. They latched themselves on to the previous generations who actually were looking for equal rights.
Mm.
And what feminism turned and did was actually began to be a propaganda machine to
Mm-hmm.
discourage women from acting and behaving like the women that they were born to be. And we
Okay.
can't look at it in a microcosm into just jobs and work. We have to look at it as a cultural shift to where they were basically shaming women for being feminine and being themselves and encouraging women to act more like men. And at the end of the day, I say it is just an act.
All right. Well, thank you so much for all of that. I think that we're going to have this as a continued, you guys. This is going to continue. This is really, really good meat on the bone and good dialogue that we have to go through. So, um, my name is Tiffany L. Love,
And I'm Abdul Speaks.
and thank you for joining us. Stay tuned.
Yep.